I'm Phil Chafee. I'm the Associate Executive Director of Emergency Management, Safety Management for the U of U Health System, our hospitals, clinics, and health sciences. I'm here with Captain Tom Simons from Salt Lake City Fire. You'll hear from him in just a moment. The first thing I'd like to say is how grateful we are, express our just profound and deep gratitude for the partnerships that we've had. As Captain Simons and I were just talking, this went as well as we could have possibly hoped, and that's largely in part because of the partnerships. We've had partnerships that have come from city, county, state, even federal, National Weather Service, the U.S. Forest Service, our internal teams from the academic university, U of U Health. I just can't emphasize enough, we've had so many people helping us. And today's a perfect example of our partnerships. We asked for help from within and also some volunteer support. We've got 4 levels of mitigation that we're putting into place in anticipation that this burn scar with some predicted monsoonal flows that could come our way. We've found out from our partners what kind of potential flooding impacts we could have and exactly where that mud or rain flow could impact us and hurt us. So today the efforts are that we've got well over 100 of our teammates here that are loading sandbags and then placing them on the burn scar. And our mitigative efforts up on the burn scar, like I said, are 4-fold. The first level is we've placed about 700 feet of cement jersey barriers all along the Red Butte Trail. In addition to that, along the Bonneville Trail, we've placed some cement K-rail or jersey barriers. Today we're loading the sandbags so we can also place those. And what this is intended to do is these barriers and sandbags are not intended to stop the water. It's intended to redirect and slow the flow of the water so our storm drains can actually manage the level of flow and runoff. And also the 4th level, in addition to storm drains, is down at the facilities themselves at Huntsman Cancer Hospital and Institute. We have 3-foot-high block walls that, should it get down to that area, would help to contain, to allow the storm drains to handle the flow. So I think we're positioning ourselves in as best of a position as we could be in if these monsoonal flows were to play out.
I know this is a dumb question, but if you didn't do anything, that's bad. You probably get it.
Well, yeah, thank you for asking that, because we hope things don't happen, but in emergency management, hope is never a plan. Our actual training, our mitigation, our creating plans, our partnerships, what we establish together, that's really where the real work of protection, mitigation, and response when needed comes into play. The more we plan ahead of time, the less the impact and the more favorable the outcome for our patients, our facilities, and our community. We want to stay open for the community, and that's not done with a hope. That's done with very intentional planning.
Phil, could you comment on how severe the risk is of flooding off of this burn area?
Yeah, so I'd like to actually have Captain Simons talk a little more about that,
okay.
But
when you say team members, who do you have out here? Who are your team members?
can I answer his question first? Or, yeah, okay, sorry. So the question that you had about the potential for flooding, again, Captain Simons is going to give us more detailed information about that. But we've got a 40 to 60% chance, according to the models, that if the monsoonal flow reaches a moderate level, the federal models have shown us exactly where and what kind of flow of water or flood could come. So it's a fairly significant chance, but again, it's not like this is a 100-year flood, or at least we hope it's not.
Yeah.
Your question.
The people here, when you mentioned your team members here working, who are they?
These are predominantly University of Utah Health, Facilities Management, Huntsman Cancer Hospital and Institute, Facility Management, our university academic facility management partners. So a large volume of facilities and engineering teams have come together, in addition to volunteers. We've had some volunteers that have said, hey, we'd love to help. Can we help? And we said, yes, we would love that, because it's a safe and a controlled environment where we have a lot of safety support, emergency management support, to make sure that those that are here, staff and volunteers, filling the sandbags, we're safely in a contained area.
This might be a question for Captain. Simon.
So we'll have to mic him up when we're ready. Did you have any other questions for me before we unmic and give it to Captain Tom Simons?
It'll be similar to that, but is it just the Huntsman Cancer Institute
No, I can actually address that. You might be interested in that. So let me address the 4 areas. So the 4 areas that, again, Captain Tom Simons will go into more detail, but the 4 canyon areas, based off of our proximity to these foothills and the way the topographical sloping flows, one of our floodplain concerns is right behind Huntsman Cancer Hospital. Another one is right behind Huntsman Cancer Institute. Those are the more significant potential areas. A little further down is a 3rd area, and then down by the Red Butte Creek, which again today mitigative efforts with sandbagging has been done to prevent any overflow. If it did overflow, that potential could go into our ortho hospital, our School of Dentistry, and so healthcare related areas that we're also trying to protect. So we are very intentionally specifically looking at all 4 areas. The 3rd one is just between Institute and Red Butte Gardens, just another canyony area. So we're very intentional about our efforts based off of the good modeling and feedback that we've received.
What about, I guess, Red Butte? You have the concert venue that's there. Obviously, a lot of people who attend to those this summer.
Yeah.
Is that one of the areas at risk as well?
Yeah, that Red Butte area is one of those areas, but it's not as significant. The further downside of Red Butte by the creek, more towards the creek area, is the area we're looking at more specifically.
What about some of the homes that are nearby? Are those at risk at all, or are they kind of protected?
No, the modeling, and again, Captain Simons, you're getting a long laundry list to address, but homes in this area for this particular burn scar are not the primary risk areas, and if that's incorrect, please correct that. It's really more the hospital and the institute that has the concern or the risk.
Do you know how many sandbags? That might be a hard number to put.
Yeah, no, actually we know exactly. So we have 2,000 sandbags that we are filling today and placing, and again 700 feet of these cement jersey barriers that are all connected together, so they're not independent. It's one long chain of mitigative strategy with cement barrier.
And you're saying Jersey, like the state, right?
Or well,
Jersey
so
Town, right?
what is it called? So K-rail, Jersey
K-rail,
barrier,
the
yeah,
hard concrete
the
barriers.
hard concrete that you see on freeways, and you can see them up behind us when you get some more shots.
Are those just going to be out here all summer, just with the risk?
Yeah, so thank you for asking. So this sign, so here's something that I think is really important to acknowledge, is that we recognize, we acknowledge, and we totally respect that the Red Butte Nature Trail is where we are placing these cement barriers and the floodplain sandbags, because we recognize those are the areas that we know are at risk. So we're trying to mitigate against that, but knowing that that's a nature trail and being respectful of that, we've placed signs that let our those that use the trail, let them know that this is only temporary. It's temporary flooding mitigation. It's not permanent, not going to be there forever. It needs to be there long enough for the state to seed and for growth to come and do its job to hold the dirt back from flooding during rainstorms. So yeah, again, being respectful that that's a nature trail, but at this moment we have to protect, again, our facilities, our patients, and our community with these efforts.
Is there a time frame that you expect to have that there?
Captain Simons can actually talk about time frame, because I've heard several different time frames. I think he has a better handle on that than I would.
And it's my understanding that all the trails are back open for hikers.
They are open except for today and tomorrow, while the heavy equipment and the mitigative efforts are occurring. We want people to stay safe and stay off the trails until the forklifts, the dump trucks, and these sandbags are all placed. But yes, outside of that, it is open. And once we're done with our mitigation, then it should be open tomorrow afternoon. Anything else for me? Otherwise, we can mic up Captain Simons.
Sure.
Great. Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Sorry.
That was great.
Thank you. Thanks.
When you referred to him right away, I thought we were shifting interviews. So that's,
Oh.
I want to get one more. No, you're good. That's why I interrupted like I did. I thought you were.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Hannah.
Now I'll let you pull that out of your pocket.
Hannah.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Hopefully that didn't sound rude for you either.
No.
You guys run the same.
Do you want me to step
No,
aside?
close though.
Yeah, you can step in if you want. Whatever. We may as well stay together, right?
Yeah, we're partners, right? You just put those
Yep.
in your
Got it.
pockets. We'll just clip these up.
Sure.
Yeah.
You want those out of sight, or are they okay on my side pocket?
They're okay on your side.
Hey, how wide are you guys gonna go? Are you good if I just clip them here? Or do you want them hidden? I can do either.
Sure, yeah.
Are you doing one?
Okay.
now?
More, and then we'll do that with that.
Okay, sounds good. Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
I've lost a little bit of the placement. Where is the hospital?
This is the hospital.
Okay.
And this is the institute all along here.
Thank you.
This is Cancer Hospital.
Cancer Hospital. We do have patient care here. The main hospital
like
is,
lost where I am.
is just west.
Okay.
On the other side over here. Yeah.
I got a little disoriented.
Yeah, it's a very large
We have
hospital.
one more mic too, guys.
Yeah,
Okay.
sure. Whatever you need to do.
I got out of the parking garage and I was like, I don't know where I am.
You're good.
Here, I'll
Thank you.
find a spot. I got lots of pockets.
You got it.
Outside of the cancer.
I'll just make sure that it's not muted, and then.
Yeah, whatever you need, guys. Oh, son of a.
I'll help you with that. It's hard.
Would you? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
It's hard to do this.
Well, and I don't want to screw up your other guys' mics. So,
All right, that should be good.
thanks.
I'm ready when you guys are. So awesome.
Wait, can you give me a second? Yeah.
Sure.
What is that? Okay. So just for you guys, I'm Tom Simons, emergency management captain with Salt Lake City Fire. And I don't really have a statement, so if you have questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Yeah, just from your side of it.
so-
you were here when you guys were fighting this.
We were. So yeah, and before I go too far, I actually want to echo Phil's thoughts as well. The coordination and collaboration on this fire was exceptional. We have had several fires in Salt Lake City this year. We've had several fires through the last several years. And quite frankly, this one went exactly the way it's supposed to. Our partners were collaborating, we were communicating from the beginning. What you see behind you is actually the direct result of work that started while the fire was still burning. We were working on mitigation efforts, connecting with our partners, connecting with the U.S. Forest Service, the U.S. Geologic Service, and making sure that we were already starting this process so we could minimize the risk to the citizens and residents of Salt Lake City.
Tom, how long is this a concern for? It could go on.
Right, hard to say. The fact of the matter is we got the report back from the U.S. Forest Service, the U.S. Geologic Service. The risk level on this burn scar is lower than many fires that we've encountered. Approximately 71% of the burn scar area is a low risk. Only about 7% is a moderate risk, and the rest is no risk. So we have seen the models. There absolutely is potential for some debris flow. For a little bit of context, a low risk rating means the soil is very minimally changed from the fire. The fire was quick, it passed through the area very quickly. We didn't see that deep, hard heat that tends to change the soil. So while we have lost some of the plant structure, while we may still see some debris and water come down, it certainly is a lot better than it could have been. And the reason we know that is because of the studies that our partners have undertaken with the Forest Service, the Geologic Service. As Phil pointed out, we've identified all of those areas at risk. Those areas almost entirely impact the University of Utah. The only other minor impact was for our watershed, which our Public Utilities Department has taken efforts to ensure that our water supply is safe as well. So really at this point, we're really addressing that public safety risk to keep the University of Utah, the Huntsman Hospital and the Huntsman Institute safe.
Can you talk about what's being done today, what your preventative measures are, considering what's coming?
Absolutely. So placing of sandbags and those jersey barriers, the K-rails, those hard concrete barriers that you'll see on the freeway. As Phil pointed out, the real purpose of that is to slow the flow, to let the infrastructure, the system, the storm drains, those things that are designed to handle this, that may become a little overwhelmed from the extra volume, to give them time to handle it, rather than overwhelming the system and moving down into the University of Utah property.
How long is this a collective effort? Is it volunteers or employees of the fire department? Who is here today?
I would actually defer to Phil. This is his effort, so I'll make sure he can answer that question for you.
How long do you anticipate these to be on the trails?
A good question. It really all depends on how the burn scar recovers. Where the impact was lower, it could recover much quicker. We look for vegetation to come back. We look for some of those root structures to come back. But we'll be relying on our partners from the Forest Service, the Geologic Service, to really monitor and let us know when that scar is back to what we would consider normal levels where we don't need mitigation efforts.
When do you anticipate like reseeding and all that stuff to take place?
Most of this is on federal property, so I would have to defer to the U.S. Forest Service on what their plans are for reseeding. I wouldn't know for sure.
And you're saying houses aren't.
No, really the primary impact was to the University of Utah properties, both the hospital and the institute, a little bit into the Salt Lake City watershed. We were very fortunate that we had great firefighting efforts that protected us during the fire, and the nature of the location and where they contained that fire has contained that threat to just right in this area where we have the opportunity to mitigate relatively easily.
Can you talk to the watershed protection a little bit? Like what
Similar efforts, just making sure that we protect from debris, water flow, just protecting to make sure that they can handle any contamination so it doesn't get into our water supply.
Have you determined a cause for the fire at this point?
I have not heard any cause. It's still under investigation.
Is that something that the fire department is working on, or is that something that the Forest Service is?
That will be a collaborative effort between all the agencies that responded that would determine what that cause was, ultimately whose property it started on and those kinds of things.
I guess, is there a similar concern for the Sandhurst area? It sounds like from the Department of Emergency Services that it could take up to 5 years for recovery in some areas. Is there any concern this summer with that Sandhurst, both burn scars there?
We did the same study on the Sandhurst area. We didn't really identify any major risks over there. Again, anytime we have a burn like this, there may be a little bit of runoff that comes off of that area, but we'll be watching that area closely as these monsoon flows develop.
Is that something you're just communicating with residents? In that
Yeah,
area?
absolutely. We speak to the residents. We talk to our partners with public utilities, with public services, streets, just to make sure that we have all of the resources we need at hand. We have sandbags staged. We have heavy equipment staged. All of those things that we can bring out very rapidly if we have any issues.
and you're saying that, sorry, I can't hear. That area is not super.
We haven't identified a major risk in the Sandhurst area, no.
And when is the monsoon rain supposed to start?
As I understand it from the Weather Service, we're starting to move into that pattern now. Southern Utah is experiencing monsoon currently this week, and I believe as I read the report, we expect more impacts in northern Utah into next week.
You said you studied the area. What's the assessment of the situation, of the potential situation over the next couple of days? Like, would you expect a lot of mud or just like land movement? Like, what can you expect in the worst case scenario?
Yeah, and just to be clear, this study was completed by the U.S. Forest Service BEAR team, which is the Burned Area Emergency Response Team. They bring geologists, they bring subject matter experts into the area. They look at the soil, the root structure, and all of those things, and provide those recommendations. We have identified a little bit of risk for some soil, but I think mostly what we'll see is water coming down. Any other questions? Okay. Thanks. Yeah, you'll want to grab him and mic him up. He's got a lot of the good stuff.